Our first guest is one of the most popular anchors on CNN. He's also a best-selling author. His new book is called The Devil May Dance. Please welcome Jake Tapper.
Hey, Alan.
Hi, Jake. Since you were here last, a lot has happened, but I thought I would start with some good news. COVID numbers are down across the country, so do you think we're finally at the end of this? What are your thoughts?
I think we're getting there. I think it's really important that people get vaccinated. In the states where they have a very high rate of vaccination, sickness is going down, death is going down significantly. It's working. There are lots of parts of the country where people are still not getting vaccinated. Some of it is people not having access to the healthcare system, or maybe they don't speak fluent English, or they're not online or on TV, they don't watch TV, et cetera. But some of it is hesitancy, and I just think it's important for people to understand these vaccines work. The data shows it works. I have been vaccinated. I know you're vaccinated. Like, it actually works. It's saving lives. And people, I get whatever hesitancy they might have, but there are some wild rumors out there about, this is Bill Gates trying to implant you with a microchip. I mean, newsflash. Bill Gates knows where you are already if he wants to, because your phone is right next to you.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to put a microchip in you.
Right.
You're carrying around a tracking device already.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a certain amount of common sense that people are not using when they talk about these conspiracy theories.
Yeah, no, I know. There's some crazy ones out there. But now that things have calmed down a little bit, has Andy stopped texting you? He probably was texting you just now. He's texting during the show. How often does he text you?
He was texting me about Tig for some reason. I don't know. No, he has stopped frantically worrying about the state of our democracy with the same intensity. Although I will say, I was out with my daughter Alice this weekend, and he called because he had seen I had shown a picture on Twitter of Alice getting vaccinated, and I guess he was taking one of his kids to be vaccinated, so he wanted to make sure that his kid could hear my daughter talking about how everything was okay with the vaccine. So I think this tradition of Lassner's pestering Tappers is one that he wants to hand down to future generations, which is okay with me. It's time for the next generation to pick it up. I agree.
Yeah. Wait, why were you just getting one of your kids vaccinated, Andy?
No, it was the twins.
Okay.
It was.
Okay, it was both of them. I thought you favor one over the other, and you just vaccinating.
I tested it on one twin.
I
and then we'll see.
I see. So there's a lot of stories in the news about UFOs. All of a sudden, it's crazy what's going on. I watched a documentary recently on UFOs, and it was all this stuff. I mean, it exposed all this stuff a while ago, and now it's crazy. I mean, is this something that you're surprised by, that it's so out there now?
Well, first of all, can I just say how bizarre it is that this all came out in 2020, and like half the news shows never even touch it. I don't think I ever even covered this. And this is actually a story I'm fascinated by, but there was so much news last year, and so much of it was horrible. We didn't have time to get to the confirmation of unidentified flying objects. But I will say, as I constantly remind my brother and my wife, both of whom are huge UFO aficionados, the fact that they're confirming unidentified flying objects does not mean that they are confirming ET is landing. It is different. They're saying, we don't know what this enormous blue tic-tac shaped object that transfers through space and time at rapid rates that humans are not capable of. We don't know what that is. That's as far as they're willing to go.
Yeah. Well, something, unless it's like a drone from another planet, universes away, chances are somebody or something is in there.
Right. I mean, the question is it, to use a superhero metaphor, is it Tony Stark with his brilliant mind and his Iron Man factory doing unbelievable things, or is it Thor coming from another dimension? And the odds are probably that it's Tony Stark, not Thor. You can tell what being at home for a year and a half has done to my brain, that this is how.
Right. Yeah. So Here's my question to you. You're doing the news. I think about this, anyone who's reporting the news, because a lot of it is bad or scary or whatever. And you're doing news 2 hours a day, which is a lot of stuff that you're having to think about, talk about. When you get home, what do you do to just take all of that off of your plate?
Well, I don't watch news. I've been watching Mayor from Easttown on HBO Max. I don't know if you know that show.
I'm just about to start it. I hear great things.
Yeah, Kate Winslet is stars, and I'm from Philly, and the show takes place right outside Philly in Delaware County, and they all worked really hard on their working class white Philadelphia accents. So they talk about hoagies, and they talk about overdoses, and you know, for Philadelphians, it's nice to bask in hearing the beautiful. I assume that sounds beautiful to you. The mellifluous Delaware County accent.
Yes, it's so beautiful. So very beautiful and soothing. Hey, Jake, we have to take a break. That rhymed. We'll be back after this. Let's talk about your new novel, Devil May Dance, which, by the way, just debuted on the New York Times bestseller list. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that's quite an honor. The people on that list it's a bunch of powerhouses, including your previous guest the other day, Stacey Abrams, and you know, David Baldacci, and just a number of just huge hitters. So it's nice to be on that list.
Yeah, that's very cool that you're on that list. Tell everybody what this is about.
So it's based on a true story, but it's my fictitious characters go to investigate something that actually happened, which is after Sinatra and the Rat Pack worked their hearts out to get John F. Kennedy elected, Sinatra thought that Kennedy was going to come stay with him, and he had his Rancho Mirage compound built up, helipad, extra rooms, phone lines. But then Attorney General Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, who was investigating organized crime, thought to himself, I don't know if I can have my brother stay there because I'm investigating mobsters, and Sinatra is actually friends with mobsters. So that really happened. And then I just had my characters, Charlie and Margaret, from the previous book, go out there and investigate Sinatra to find out if he's really mobbed up. And they encounter all these stars from the time and the Church of Scientology and a bunch of mobsters. And, you know, there's a real adventure in Hollywood.
And you did a ton of research for this. So what's something you learned that surprised you?
I was really surprised to find out that Sinatra, who, you know, I was familiar with in his later days and, of course, a fan of his music, but I kind of always thought of, you know, kind of a pig with women, at least. But he really was on a very early civil rights crusader, really fighting for, not just publicly, but privately, to make sure that blacks in his band or Sammy Davis Jr. Were treated equally, that he tried to integrate a number of hotels and arenas in Las Vegas and elsewhere. And I was really surprised by that because I knew the later incarnation where he was more conservative, but he really put a lot on the line in the 40s, 50s, and 60s to fight for civil rights. He was much more progressive than the Kennedys were at that time.
Wow, that's amazing. So the book is getting great reviews, and is that something that you just said you were honored to be on that list, but do you pay attention to reviews?
Yeah, I do. Early on Amazon, you can't really read the Amazon reviews too much, although they've been generally nice too. But the very first Amazon review gave me 1 star out of 5. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. What is this? And it was somebody complaining about their Amazon service, like the delivery didn't come in on time, which I thought, that's not fair. I reached out to a friend of mine who works at Amazon. I'm like, this 1 star, this isn't a 1 star for me. This is a 1 star for you. This is Amazon's 1 star. I'll take it if it's about my book, but for you, anyway, that's what I had to do. But I was okay. I survived. Hey,
listen, it's always great talking to you, Jake, and you look good. You look healthy and rested and different than last time. You were not sleeping, and it was a lot going on, but it's great to talk to you.
Well, it's great to talk to you next time in person, and don't think I don't know about your news too, but I'll address that with you next time I see you. Which, you know, because I'm sad about that. We'll talk about that another time.
Well, thank you for being sad about it. I love you, and yes, you'll be here for sure in person. I want to say goodbye to everybody in person next year. So, The Devil May Dance is available everywhere books are sold, and today you're all going home with a copy. You're home, but you're getting a copy.
All right.
Bye, Jake.
Thank you, Ellen.
We'll be back.
Bye-bye. Good to see you.